Live.
Yes, we
Evening.
are. Good evening.
How's it going, Paul?
Yeah,
Evening,
really
everyone.
good. Really good.
Thanks for
You?
joining us in the house. Yeah, not bad, Paul. Not bad. First time I think I've been early for a long time, eh?
You was
What do you
you
what
was
do you think?
uber
Hey,
early. You was kind of 10
Uber.
to 8, which is unheard of.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I thought yeah, I'll do my best today, guys, for you all. So yeah, in the house quite early today.
Yeah.
Hope you're all well, guys. Already looking in the house. There's a fair few people in, 22, I believe, so far. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll pick up. I know it's been quite warm, and some people are probably just gagging for a beer, I suppose, over this because it's been boiling all week. But just have a
So
quick
yes.
look, see who's in
Yeah.
the house.
So while you're doing that,
Uh,
Jay is
Tony.
running late. Jay's
Oh
running late,
yes,
isn't he? He's
sorry.
he's
Yeah.
lost his hairnet and he's trying to dye his hair. So please don't give him any stick when he comes on. 'Cause he's a bit stressed about his hair at the moment. But no, joking aside, he's been delayed and he should be on about 7:30ish. He
Half eight.
says, but
Yeah.
his 8:30 could be any time, couldn't it? And also
Yeah.
Ross sends his regards, but he's still not with us for now. So sorry, go on, Steve, if you want to run
Yeah.
through the
No. Yeah.
chat.
No. Yeah. No. No. Yeah. Totally forgot about that. Thought it was just us two again for the moment. Yeah. No. As Paul says, Jay will be joining us very shortly. But yeah, Cornish Reefers in the house, evening. UKM, Reefer. Fish Palace is in the house. How's it going,
Yeah.
Fish Palace? Aqua Ian, evening, Ian. Andy's in. Stu's in. AB Reef's in. Howard's also joined us. NG Reefer as well. Evening, NG Reefer. John Wright, as always
Oh, wait a
joining
minute.
us.
We'll come back on that comment in a minute. The
What's
dreaded
that?
6.
All right. Oh, I'll quickly go off that one. Then we'll come back to that shortly. Let's have a look. Evening, Phil. Evening, Phil. Pompey Reef, Techers in. How's it going? Haley Barr is in a Bucks Reefer. How's it going? And Darren's in. Dan's Reef One's always in as well. Kim, once again, she's always in as well. Thanks for joining us, Kim. And finally, so far, Errol Sullivan is in, who once again always joins us on our live streams. We really appreciate it. And now there's 37 of us in, so we're climbing the people coming in through the door. So,
Yeah.
how's things with you, Paul? How's things been going on?
Yeah, I'm good.
I can see there's a bit
go
of
back?
emptiness.
Well,
Yes, we'll go up
So,
to see the bit of
what do you
emptiness
want
in
to do
that tank.
first? Yeah. So,
I say we have a look at
hopefully,
your tank first, yeah.
so hopefully this weekend it will go.
Yes.
So you can see I've got a fish trap there. So, and it's
Yes.
got a tube in the top. So I've been feeding mices down the tube.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Oh,
I
yeah.
stand over here with the glass plate for the front because I can't find a
Got
bit
you.
of string. Fish goes in. I put the glass down. It comes out. No,
Do you find they work? Do you really find they actually work?
Yeah. So I've called. Right. So far,
I couldn't use mine.
So what I've done, I've caught 2 wrasse. I've got 1 more wrasse to catch, but he won't go anywhere near. My yellow tang keeps on going in there, but I'm not ready to catch it yet. I've got a big wrasse. It's about 3 or 4 inches long. That keeps on going in there, but I'm not ready to catch it yet because they're going to a fish shop. I've caught one of the clownfish, but the other clownfish keeps on taunting me by. There we go. Keeps on hiding over this side in a rock down there. I can't get it.
Oh,
so
okay.
all of this rock work has gone. I mean, that is SPS that's grown up the side of the tank, so not much I can do about that. I've got a pink chalice there that's all grown on the sand bed. I've got what have I got left? Bubble coral that I'm going to frag tomorrow morning. All the rest of the orange bits in there are mushrooms. I just got look. So that's all mushrooms there. A few mushrooms over there. And then I've got loads of mushrooms there. And
I can see.
It's hard when you're trying to point to something and you're on the
yeah
and that there. So I haven't got much left. So I've got 2 colonies still to do. So hopefully tomorrow I will get rid of the corals, drain it a little bit, and then.
So what have you actually done with all the corals, Paul? Have you actually got rid of them, given to the shop, or what?
Yeah,
Trading them in? What have you done?
As you and Jay say, it's the longest close down in history. So what I've basically done is most of the colonies I've fragged and I've just sold them off. So I've done it one. I didn't.
Right.
I done it 1 coral at a time, basically. So when you you frag so like the candy cane that creates like 30 frags. So then I was selling the 30 frags or giving some away to people I know and stuff like that. And then so I'm left with a few things, but my other 2 tanks are just rammed with coal at the moment. So I need to sort that. I need to sort that out as well. And then I've also went and gone and bought another coral. So AAC, they put a picture up today. They've got 20 or 30 really nice corals. And I've always wanted a grafted Monty. So they've got a really nice piece. I think it's on a 3 centimeter disc. So it's a orange and green grafted Monty. So I've got to make some room on the floating aquascape. So I'm going to put that out there because I've always fancied a bit of that, but they've always been really expensive. And I thought I'm not going to get ripped off on it. So they're a really nice size piece. So I'm going to go and pick that up because the yellow tang's going to AAC and the large RAS is going in their display as well. The yellow tank they're going to look after when I get a bigger tank. And the Melanaris RAS is going in their, I think they said it's going in their display, whether it will or not, I don't know because it's absolutely rammed with fish already. So you can see that is, I mean, I've been gutted. It's taken me so long, as you know, to get to that stage. So just a final push now to close it down. And I'm going to move because I've got battery backups in there. So they'll go on the other tanks, Vortec ones. And they still work. I've had the batteries for 7 years almost, and they still work. So they're going to go on the other tank. And then I might sell these lights, Gen 3s. I'll probably sell those because I don't need those. And some of the other bits I'll just put into storage.
Quick in there, he's just put Steve, your vid's not quite full. What it is, it's because I've got this little the little Pico tank just behind me here. It's the light off that, and then I've also got the light off these bloody things. I mean, just look at them. That's the Radions. You can see how bright they are. It's like that's going off, so you can see. You know what I mean? So I've got and then I'm right near the window. So you've got the thingy of the window as well. So that's, if it looks a bit misty, that is the reason why, mate. It's not the camera. I have sorted the camera, but it's because of all this light, mate. So that's the problem we're having. But I could always maybe put a background on, but then I'm always looking a bit shaky, you know, on the background. You've got to stay dead still.
You end up disappearing, don't you? Last time
you
disappeared other than your head. It was funny, but
Yeah.
So that will be going this weekend. So
what's so are you actually selling your tank, or are you just getting what are you doing with it?
I will probably give it away because there's a couple of reasons. It's as I say, nearly 7 years old. In the far corner at the base, there's a crack on it, but I actually got the tank like it. So it's on the base. The Red Sea tank bases are about that thick. And there's a crack, a little bit of a dent where the glass has gone just there. But it's been all right for 7 years. So there's no threat to it. It's nowhere near the seam or anything else. And also the cabinet is a bit knackered. So I'm not going to sell it. When it's ready, and it's bloody heavy as well. So I'll say if someone wants it, they can have it free, but they've got to come round and they've got to come and lift it themselves and stuff like that. If no one wants it, then I'll probably just take the glass apart and then carry it in panels. And I don't know what I'll do with the glass, but if anyone wants the tank, they can have the tanks. I've got to clean it out and stuff like that, but it'll be free in about 2 or 3 weeks' time.
You know what? Just talking about tanks there. What was we talking about just coming on the show before? But me and Paul before just while I was in the background before we were talking about this. I went to Finest Aquatics the other day with my missus because obviously we were looking at the gem tangs and I was so tempted at getting one. I mean, I was that close from getting one. My missus was going to buy me one and stuff for Father's Day, but then I thought because I go on holiday in 6 weeks' time, 6 or 7 weeks' time, I thought I don't want to, I want it to be settled in properly and all. So maybe for the future, but for now, not just now. But I was saying there, I was in there and there was some tanks in there, and I couldn't think of the actual name of the tanks, and the quality of them was stunning. And I actually seen a grey one, which was it was like a grey shallow Reef tank, and I thought I'd love one of them. I think that I definitely want one of them as another project, maybe in the future. Now, Mickey Boy Mick, is this your company? MBM Aquarium Design. Do you make the tanks for Finest Aquatics? And because if it is, I'm sure it was MBM Aquatics. It rings a bell, and I couldn't think of the name for the life of me. So if it is, comment below, because if you do, these tanks, guys, check them out. Go over there, because it's an all-in-one system. They have an all-in-one shallow reef. They probably do other things, but from what I've seen, it was. Let me see. Yes, mate. It is. It is. You know
really?
what? So MBM Aquatics, guys, go check them out. Seriously, go on that. They've got an Instagram page. They've just started it. I've checked it out.
Page now,
yeah. I think they've only just started not long ago, if memory serves me right. But the tanks in Finest Aquatics are like, they're the dogs. They're fantastic. They look great quality, really good quality. All-in-one systems, perfect for a beginner, perfect for a person like ourselves who's been in it fair few years, and definitely all shallow reef one with all grey door. They had grey doors, so I'm assuming they do more. But yeah, 10 out of 10. They look really, really good quality. So go check them out, guys, for
Just
sure.
Looking at their Instagram account, they've got some of their tanks on there. They look sharp.
Yeah, really nice, mate. Really, really nice. Going back on to Aquarium. Thought you started modelling soft focus. Ian, it'd take a lot more than me being blurred out, mate. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I appreciate your comments. And John's put, Ian, it must be the Uzo. So yeah. Ian, are you on the Uzo?
Yeah, so who had the comment above? It was the one around...
which one?
There was one who someone got Royal Grammar.
6 line.
And a 6 line rest. They got
John put he wanted to catch his 6 line rest and rehome it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That one.
Yeah. So what I mean,
morning tonight.
What you could do, you could get a fish trap. It takes some patience though, John. It really does. I was standing there for ages, and I was just feeding food into the top, because it's got a pipe that goes through to the middle of it. And then you want them obviously to go in, and then you got to be able to close the trap door on them pretty quick. Or maybe you could get the one. What's the one you've seen it, Steve? The one that's the fish trap that's the ball. Oh, he's talking. You can get. I can't remember who makes them. You got the fish trap that's a ball, and the fish goes in, and then it turns upside down, so they can't jump out. I can't remember the company that sells it.
Nios.
Oh, the Nios.
I've got it here.
Is it?
Well,
have you got one?
It. I've got one. Yeah, it's here. Where is it? I've got it to hand here somewhere. I think. Where is it? Sure, I have. Yeah, it's there it is. That's the one. There. So basically,
how big is it? That's a big box.
It's not that big. There. So it's not that big. But these Nios traps, guys, seriously, takes patience. But that little magnetic it's a strong magnet that it sticks to some size tanks. But basically, you just basically hold that magnet there. You take it off, and then once the fish is inside, the actual cylindrical thing just floats up to the top, and the fish can't get out. And it definitely works 100%. It's a fantastic piece of kit. But it took me a while for my if you remember to catch that what was it?
Was it a purple tang?
The tang. No, the tang. It was the finger tang. The lavender tang, wasn't it? It was the lavender tang. Remember the brown tang? It took me a while. It took me over 4 weeks. Was it 4 or 5 weeks to catch it? But yeah, but it went in over time. But it was just it was a pain in the bum to just let it go in. But
so what do you do? Do you put food in? So it's onto the glass.
Yeah.
Do you put you put food in there to attract the fish, and obviously you got to go in there.
Yeah.
And then you've got to pull the magnet off for it to work, I'm assuming, or does it become detached when the fish starts moving around?
No. There's a little. You've got to be there to pull it away, to detach it. Right. Yeah. But there's a little hole in the top of it, in the top of the container, and basically you just get a pipette or a little bit of food, and you just poke it in through the, through there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just drop it in, and then the fish slowly but surely go in. Now, what I did was I'd put an actual whole cube in it and rested it on the bottom, but that was a mistake, because what it did is when the first fish that went in, which was 9 times out of 10 was the steroid chromus, yeah, they went in, grabbed it and pulled it out, and then everybody got fed. So that I was like, well, that was a bad trick, you know, to do. So then what I did was I just started putting little bits in at a time, you know, like little tiny bits. So they were starving. So the fish would like go in. So one fish would go in, then another fish would go in, and they'll just be taking turns at going in. You know, and the only fish that I wanted to go in and didn't go in was the one that stayed out all the time because it knew. But yeah, it was a pain in the bum, but it managed to went in after 4 or 5 weeks. I think it was 4.5 weeks. I think, but yeah, it was.
So
it was
John,
good.
see if you can beat 4.5 weeks, John.
Yes, I think you will. I think you'll be able to. Evening, Steve and Paul. Sat grabbing a 15-minute break in lay-by. Gutted I couldn't be here yet again. Just wanted to say, Brett, 15 minutes joining us, mate. We really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. And gutted, but you can always check back on it for sure, Kyle. Watch it when you've got a bit of time.
So, Steve, I understand. I hear you've got your ICP back. So I know last week we gave you a lot of flack because the world and their dog have got their ICPs back, and you was the only person in the country who hadn't got your ICP. Absolutely. So you've got it back, haven't you?
I did, mate. Yeah, and the good news is, guys, everything was spot on. In fact, it was nearly identical to the last one that I had. I actually put them both up, side by side on the laptop to see, and they were so close to each other, give or take a few points either side. But there was no elements as in like rust or anything like that. There was nothing like that in the tank. We spoke about it before, but I added some of the poly filter wool anyway, as you know, Paul.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. And I believe everybody should just put a piece of that for. Even if you don't think you've got anything, just stick it in, and it's just worth it. It just takes out anything that might be there. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like as a safety, like a buffer zone, really, for me. So I had that, and everything.
Whereabouts did you put that, Steve? Did you put that in the bubble trap?
I put a piece of the bubble trap because it's a fairly decent size, isn't it? So what I do is I cut it in bits, So I cut a piece a big enough size to put in the bubble trap, on top of my max spec blocks. I've only got the one max spec block in there now because I took one out, didn't I? So I've only got the one. So basically the flow goes through there, through that, and then I've cut pieces and I've cut 2 small pieces and I put it in my overflow as well. So I put a bit in the overflow, and then I put some just after the Clarity. So just after the Clarity, when the water comes out, it goes down and it goes through there. So and there's a big, well, I'll say a piece about that big. That's just on the bottom, weighted down with some of the bio balls.
Yeah.
So I've just done that. So I basically use the whole pack, the stuff that it comes with, and I use it, but I cut it up in bits and stick it around. But yeah, really good bit of thing to definitely have in your tank. But as for everything else is spot on. The iodine, which is strange because Jay mentioned before, we spoke before, it's like iodine always seems to be low in people's tanks, even when you do water changes and you use salt or whatever, which contains the right amount, and it always seems to be low. So it would be interesting to know the chemistry behind iodine, why it gets took out so much, or like because it says dose this. I mean, I dose my tank with iodine weekly, like 2 times a week, only like 3 drops, which I'm probably underdosing anyway, in hindsight. But I don't test for iodine like most people probably don't. So I don't know the true value of it unless I get an ICP test.
No, it's an ICP.
Now the ICP test has come back. You know what I mean? So that's come back saying it's slightly low. So really, it's in the amber zone. So it's not like red zone, it's amber, and it's not in green. So we're good. We're good.
It's quite a wide range, though, isn't it? So you could just up the dose a bit. Yeah.
That's it. So I'm just going to up the dose, but then it's one of those ones where you don't want to up the dose too much because it can go the opposite way and it can be disastrous. So it's a balancing act with iodine. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather be on the low side than the high side. Yeah. So that's the way I look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only way I've dosed it for a long period of time without doing an ICP was with Red Sea. If you use their foundation of magnesium, calcium, and alkalinity, which I've been doing for years on that, if you use the colors, which is A, B, C, D, the way you dose that is based on your consumption of calcium. And I can't remember if it's 7.
Right.
Well, I think if you dose 20 milliliters a day, I think you then dose, it might be 20 milliliters a week. I can't remember what it is, the dosage. It says on, so
Wow.
So whatever your consumption is, I can't remember if it's divided by 10 or times by 10 or whatever it is. But what you can do, you follow the instructions, and I must have dosed that Red Sea colors for a good 18 months. And I thought, and that was at the time when I thought the tank looked really, really good. So for me, it worked because the iodine was where it needed to be. And because at least you've got a barometer because it's based on your calcium. Yeah. And I didn't have a problem. Right. And let's face it, I was dosing it, you could say blind, but I was following the Red Sea program. And it works really well. I can't remember. There's corals that suck it up. Nick will know. Nick, what's the corals that really suck up iodine?
Even in Nick.
I know when you have a refugium, that can bring down your iodine, but I can't remember. Yeah. I don't think it's all corals across the board. I must admit, I haven't really looked into it that much, but I do dose the 2 tanks out there. I've started dosing iodine after my last ICP because it was slightly down. Not a great deal, but I do dose it probably two times a week on a regular basis. In fact, I'm dosing far more out there in terms of coral food and other stuff like that. And the corals are looking really good, especially as I'm piling corals into it. It's always dodgy around. You don't really know what your alkalinity is going to be and your nitrate take up. So that's another reason why I'm slowly doing this, because as I'm moving things across, I'm not doing loads of corals in 1 week, because if I throw loads of corals in, it will set the chemistry all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But that's that. But does that apply? Because what you was just mentioning on there, though, was that because you was doing water changes as well, or wasn't you? So whereas for me, I wasn't doing water. I don't do water changes, do I? So I could understand why maybe mine is lower, because I'm basically winging it in one sense, having a rough guess out of what I should be dosing into that tank, in hindsight. And like I said, it comes back onto ICPs. Unless I get an ICP test done, I don't really know what iodine consumption is in my tank. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, you probably have a rough guide if I did a 30 litre or a 10% water change each week. You'd have a rough guide, or a 20%, whatever you want, because you'd have a rough guide of how much you will need to dose. But because of me, my tank and my corals are just growing all the time. Yeah, the consumption's being took out, calcium is being took out, everything's all being took out. Now it's raising up even more. Like I'm up to 300 mil a day of each component. So it's like it's a rough guide for me. It's a rough guess. So I go on a whim of thinking, right, well, let's always go under rather than overdose it, because we could always add more, but you can never take it away. So that's the consumption. That's the thing that I go on.
Yeah, so I was doing water changes. They probably wasn't every week, but I was just following the program, the Red Sea program, just to see, because when I bought the tank, the guy was selling it. I went onto the Red Sea Elements because I got loads of it. He had loads of bottles of the liquid, the powder, that's how I got into Nopox, because I actually got with the tank a free bottle of Nopox, and that's why I set Nopox up on that tank. And I've stopped dosing it recently, but 6 years later of dosing Nopox, the tank went really well. It was only because this guy, when I bought the tank, I had all this stuff, so that's why I started using the Elements and the litre bottles. So when you're dosing like 1 to 7 mil a week, it lasts a long time. And I just just carried on with it, so it worked for me. I mean, you can get test kits that does iodine, potassium, and a couple of others. I tell you what, they're not hard work. I don't know if anyone's used a potassium kit before, an iodine kit. It's not like alkalinity or anything like that, which is relatively simple. You have to do it. Really is like chemistry. So I just knocked it on the head and just didn't worry about the tests anymore. I just went to the program and done an ICP every four.
I think that's the best way.
Yeah. And it's good. There's comments in there because Nick's saying about Gorgonians even use a lot of iodine. soft
Don't have any.
corals. What I didn't know is
But
about
he said,
aquarians. Yeah, sorry, go on.
no, I was just saying there, like zoas, that could be because I do have hundreds and hundreds of zoas in my tank. They're everywhere. They're all over the show. So maybe, I mean, zoas and corals with more blue coloration. Blue? I think I've got one or two with a bit of blue in it, but other than that, yeah, I think mainly it's zoas for me, you know, in that because I've got no gorgonians. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but I always find a lot of people have trouble with the iodine. You check most reefers out, yeah, and most YouTubers, they always say, even reef builders mentioned in one of his. I remember watching one of his videos, and he was saying like he was with the iodine consumption, it was like he was trying to manage it and control it. Do you know what I mean? And that's him,
Yeah,
who has like umpteen tanks. He's like is classy in what he does, and yet
yeah,
even he was struggling with it. So, you know, I mean, it is. There does seem to be a lot of people having like struggling with iodine, but
yeah,
it's one of those ones where, like I said before, I think it's always better to underdose than overdose with it. You know what I mean? There's no
yeah.
going back if you overdose with it. So,
What's interesting there is
um,
is our usual recipe, which is the all for reef. And it says contain idea. I tell you what, the floating aquascape, I've been using all for reef now on a regular basis. I've now got it dialed in on a
really,
doser, and the
yeah,
colours is probably the best I've had in that tank. And I don't do water
yes,
changes in there. The nitrates are 30. The phosphate is 0.03. So it's, and I tell you what, I've got a little bit of, I've got quite a bit of a bubble algae actually, but I put an emerald crab in there. But the colours of the corals are really, really good. It's probably the best I've had, and I put it down for all for reef. I really do, because people say it's
yeah,
got all the kind of smaller elements in there like iodine and stuff like
yeah,
that. And it's so easy with one doser. I know we talked about it.
yeah.
It seems like we talk about it nearly every week, but I'm a big fan of it, I must admit.
Mm. This Nick, I spoke to Nick privately. We had a
Yeah,
chat, good chat about this, and he was mentioning something about like me, and I did say, and I said to him, and I've actually done a video. Well, I filmed a video, filmed a few videos. I'm going to be releasing one on Sunday. It's going to be on Sunday. Um, but this one I'm going to be releasing maybe in about 2 weeks' time. And he was talking about this sort of stuff where it contains natural iodine and stuff like that, and to make your own food, you know, to make your own food. So I've looked a lot. I have seen a few people do it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. So I bought some squid, I bought some mussels, some prawns, some things, and I blended them all up and I made them into my own mush with a bit of RO water, mushed it up, and I've made it and I put them in the, you know, there's sealed packs, and I stuck them in my freezer. And I've
yeah.
been feeding my fish with it, yeah, and you want to see like they're on another planet. Now, every time I walk past the tank, they fly right up to the glass. In fact, they nearly knock themselves out. They fly to the glass and they're like waiting for food to come, you know, with it. And so that's the way I'm going to go now. It cost about, I think in total it was about 12 quid, 13 quid for all the stuff, which is nothing. You know what I mean? So yeah, make your own food. That could be a good point. I've definitely
I
made
think
mine,
quite a people
and
do, because they put all kind of
yeah,
cocktails in there and mix it all up. So there's
absolutely,
one comment earlier on
absolutely,
about
mate.
what's in the box. Well, it's nothing really interesting. It's nothing to do with Reef. I think it's just a box of files, so I can put loads of paperwork around. So Brett, I'm really sorry, kind of underwhelming you there. It's
Oh,
nothing.
there.
It's nothing exciting. I just haven't cleared the background. I've got buckets and all kinds of things there, and somehow that box is there. So unfortunately, it's nothing reef related at the moment. I'm trying to get rid of stuff, not buy loads of stuff. But that didn't work today when I bought a coral. But there we go.
Yeah, Reef King is go check his channel out. He's got his Peninsula tank back up and running. Not running, sorry, back up. So he's not running. He wasn't running on the actual picture, but you never know. It could be running now. So Carl,
Yeah,
he might be
I saw
keeping
the
us. It
picture.
might be keeping us in suspense. Yeah, might be
Yeah.
keeping us in suspense, maybe. But it'd be interesting to see what plans he has for that.
So
Carl, it's
yeah,
always
I
good to
know
watch
that
Carl.
Jay will be jealous because Jay loves a
Oh,
shallow reef, doesn't he? So yeah, I've seen a picture of it. Carl, looks really good.
it does. Go on,
Um,
Reef
so the other
Keeping
one,
is in the house.
yeah. Oh, evening.
Thanks for joining us, evening. And Andrew, Patson has just joined us in the house as well.
So
Yeah,
Nick,
Nick.
so wait a minute, there's a comment from Nick above. So yeah, I must admit the colours are really popping on that tank. I must admit I've got no idea what the zinc level is. I probably need to do an ICP, but the All for Reef, which if it does contain iodine, which a few people does, that's probably helping. It's gradually increasing the dosage as I put a couple of big corals in there as well. So I just need to balance it out again. But it's taken me 18 months, and I'm actually really happy with the tank now. And it's got quite a lot of SPS in there as well, which is
you've got to do a video, mate. You've got to do a video on it on that one.
I'm halfway through a video, but it just takes me ages to do anything on it. So I've done a 2-year review of the DD 900. So I've got a review of that that's almost finished, and then I've done a review of the floating aquascape as well.
Yeah.
So I've got to get that
let's have a look. Thanks, boys. No problem, Carl. It's always a pleasure, mate. Fish No Chips has joined us. How's it going, Fish No Chips? Hope you're well, mate. And Nick says, how's it going? So yeah. But yeah, going back onto the ICP, Paul, everything come back bang on with the tank. So going back to like with the fish dying and stuff like that, maybe it was just one of those unfortunate things that it's still in my mind. It still plays in my mind because it was my yellow tank. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was my best fish, other than maybe my mandarin, because I love my mandarin fish. So I've had years and years. So you know, for me, it's like it was a bit upsetting. Really, I was really devastated with it all when she passed away for sure. But you know, I mean, other people might just say, "Oh, it's just a fish," but it's not a fish. It's like pet. It's like a pet. It's like having a dog, in it. You know what I mean? It's a pet to me. You know, I look after it. I feed it every day and stuff like that. So it was like, you know, I was gutted, but I'm glad that it was nothing to do with me in a sense of like it was my bad water or I'd overdosed or I'd done something.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it wasn't anything to do with me. So I can live in the mindset thinking it was just one of those unfortunate things that happened, that both of them died at the same time. So yeah, it's a strange one, but I don't know. We'll get through it and we'll figure something else.
You done though, Steve. You didn't knee-jerk reaction and start changing loads of things in your tank. So you start upsetting your corals and stuff like that. So you kind of stood firm, so to speak, and just kind of carried on and see what the ICP is, because you do see people that panic, do loads of big water changes. I'm not saying that's wrong, but sometimes that can upset the chemistry in your tank, and they'll start throwing other things in, and all it does is upset the rest of your tank.
More. Yeah, it does. Yeah, and we spoke about this before, haven't we, Paul? Is like you said, anything, whatever you do, is like you just don't. And Nick said it before as well. You know, don't do big changes all at once, because, like you said, it upsets the chemistry in the tank. You know, and then before you know it, something else will go wrong, and then you'll be trying to find out what's gone wrong with that, and then another thing, and it's just like it's a domino effect then, and it's just like goes over and over. So, like you said, I just sat back. I thought to myself, let's just get an ICP done. We'll see where this takes us, and if, God forbid, if anything else happens, like another fish starts to die or whatever, or coral starts to die, then we've got a bit of an issue. But you know what? Thankfully, nothing happened. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing. But yeah.
And then once you
Paul,
get corals dying, once corals start dying, that's a bit of a knock-on effect on things, because that then starts impacting with dead things in the tank potentially, and you've got all kinds of things going on. But so you've done well there. So all for Reef. So whenever I start dosing, I start really low. So in that tank, it was 170 liters, which is it's not a small tank, not a big tank. And I start with 1 milliliter a day, and then I'll just increase it from there. I mean, I keep my alcohol fairly low, so my alkalinity is usually about 7, and I've always run my tanks at 7. I did for a period of time at 8.4 because that matched the salt. But if I don't do water changes then in a tank, then it tends to drift down, and I keep it at 7, and I dose at that level. I know people say, "Oh, there's a risk because then if it goes down," but I've had the tank go down to 6.2 and 6, and the corals have been fine for a short period of time, and then you build it back up. So I just dose really, really light to begin with, and increase it. I'm up to about I think it's about 10 to 12 milliliters a day at the moment on that tank. If it goes much higher, then I'll probably move to the powder, because it'll be quite expensive otherwise. But I mean, I know you're laughing, because I used to, you do 300 on yours. I used to do 230 on that. But it's nice to have a small tank. You haven't got to do much dosing. I've got one doser set up on it. It's it's doser and a skimmer and a few bioballs, and then no water changes, and that's it. So you know what? Touch wood. It's nice and easy to run at the moment. Both those tanks. So once that goes, then I haven't got much to do on the maintenance side, which I'll be chuffed with.
John's just put this. He received a D-random flow generator today, but he ordered the wrong side. It's 3/4 of an inch. So any of you guys, basically in the live stream, it's free to them. It costed 15 quid, but it's free to anyone on here. John, that's very kind of you, my friend. So any of you guys want to hit John up or hit us up, and we'll pass on your messages to John, then whichever way you want to do what's best, then that'd be fantastic. That's fantastic, John. Really appreciate that, mate. Reef King, Alk at 7 is the same seat. You know what? I watched I think it was a David Attenborough. I'm sure it was David Attenborough. It was talking about alkalinity and sea swings and stuff, and it was saying like the majority of natural salt water is around 7 and 7.6 or 7.7. I'm sure it was, for the majority of the world. It's only in certain parts that it raises up, but not by much. Like might raise up like 8.2, 8.5, say so. But the majority of it is 7. And that's always baffled me, because when I always spoke to people, they've always said, run my tank at 8.5, 8.6, 9, 10. But like you said, we're going against the grain in a sense of that we're not going the way corals were supposed to be living in. You know what I mean? We're going, we're doing it wrong in that sense. We should all be dosing it at 7. You know what I mean? But like mine's now running it spot on at 8.4 now, 8.5, and it never fluctuates. It fluctuates by 0.02 or 0.03. I've actually dialed it in perfect now, and the corals do look a lot better than when I was dosing high, when I was dosing like 10 and stuff like that. I think that might have been one of the biggest mistakes I did. That it might have slowed the growth down, I think.
Putting it up putting it up high?
Yeah, putting it up high, because since I've lowered it, and over these past 5 months, 6 months or so, definitely see more growth, more colour, while it's been lower rather than high. So there's definitely some logic in that. The lower you go, I think it's better. It is better for sure. So I totally agree with Carl in that sense.
I'm finding both tanks that actually I want colour. I don't want loads of growth, because if I get loads of growth, I'm going to get loads of fighting. So it's really bizarre that I'm happy with the corals growing really slow, but the colours are popping at the moment, because I learned from my lesson from there. Corals were just entwined in one another. They were killing one another. And that was because they were growing really fast, but also it was poor husbandry and fragging on my part. So I'm actually happy to have the corals grow quite slow at the moment and just pop some colour. Because you must have some coral warfare at the moment, you Steve?
Oh, mate. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's coming to the point now where this was going to be a question I was going to ask, actually. Funny you should say this, because I was looking at my tank the other day, and I was like looking, and I've got one of those, the viewing things that you put in the water, what you can buy.
One of those,
I got it. I bought it, and I'm looking, and I'm like, holy moly! It's like corals growing over the top of each other, and like, you can see where they're having coral warfare. Fighting between. None of them are dying. Yeah, they're actually fighting. So what they're doing is they're merging, and they're growing into like pyramids. Where they're pushing each other out, like they're fighting. Yeah, and it's like, holy. I don't know if I need to get some putty or something, but like I've said, I don't really like putting putty in my tank, because last time it sent me skimmer absolutely insane. Not this one, my Nios one. For weeks, it was weeks and weeks. So it's a big problem, so I don't really like using it. So I was going to see if there's any other way I could maybe put something in the tank that's not going to send me skimmer off. Like, could have put like a load of glue on it, could have put like pieces of rubble on it, rock. Because I've seen somebody put, crushed rock. So they put glue on it, They put the glue on it, and then they put the crushed rock on it, and put it over it. And then the actual thing grew on top of that, do you know what I mean? But now if I could do that, then what I could do is I could build it up, little pieces of rock and maybe try and move them off each other. Do it like that. Maybe I don't know.
Can't you just frag them back so you got a bit of
I
space in
can't.
between them?
No, because a lot of them, they've all grown on the rock. Do you know what I mean? So they're not growing upwards more. They've grown on the rock. So now they're fighting on the rock.
They're basing
So yeah,
into one another. Sorry,
so,
I thought you meant there was
yeah. So they're
branching
like
into
that.
one another.
No,
Right,
no.
okay.
So they're like that now. So it's like but because they've joined together like that now, there's no room for them to grow. So now what they're doing is they're pushing each other up like that now, like a pyramid.
So it's like
in between
it's like
each other.
stalemate, because I find if one's
Yeah,
stronger than the other, I
yeah.
had that with a blue
That's
Digi
exactly what it is.
that was growing
Yeah.
all over one of the Acropora, and actually it was just taking over the Acropora because it was stronger than that. But you've got ones that sound like that they're at stalemate, and all they're doing is pushing one against one another. Right.
Exactly. So that's the issue I've got. But 100%, mate. I mean, it's just like the color. I mean, I only wish that I could take really good quality photos under the water with it. I don't know. Maybe I might get my GoPro under and see if I can take some photos and do it.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see like just how like compact. And we say it time and time again. If ever you're getting it, and Carl can vouch for this. Carl will know anyway. Put SPS together too close together. You think there's plenty of space. Got plenty of space here. Trust me, you haven't got plenty of space. You might have split space for that time, yeah, but within a year or so, 18 months, you'll have no space, and then you're like, what the hell am I going to do? What can I do now? One of them's going to die. One of them's going to take over. One of them's going to be stronger. It's a battle of the survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest, and that's the way it'll be. So, I mean, I'm only hoping that I can maybe save it or save a few of them because, I mean, I've got a Decadia, the Decadia, beautiful pink Decadia, and it's just being overrun. I can't get it out because it's actually being overbranched by everything now. So now I'm stuck. I can't actually get my hand in to pull it off the rock. Do you know what I mean? But it was starting off a little tiny half an inch piece, and now it's a good say 4 or 5 inch piece, all branched out. But I just can't get to it, and it's just been took over, being like eaten alive by everything else. So such a shame, and I thought I'd give it enough space, but obviously not.
So one of the grits and one of the lessons I learned from this is that I started fragging the colonies back sooner to create more space and to more flow and everything like that. Because in the end, it just became really dense. And then, of course, then there was one colt that was on the sandbed and grew right up to the top, but it was branching out. And what I found, all the bottom was just completely dead. And by that time, you couldn't really frag it properly because you just would have had dead coral. So it's longer term, it's easier to frag them earlier. Just to keep them in shape, which is no different to your garden, I suppose. Really. But if I was you, Steve, I would just take. It's easy for me to say because I haven't had that problem anymore on that tank. But I would just give them all a haircut, and your tank will probably benefit from it. I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna do that, like you said, like things, but I started to slowly take these frag racks out of the tank because, as we all know, I do hate frag racks. But that was one thing. What I was gonna do, I was gonna get like another little tank, just a small a smallish tank, but just basically have it. So it's just basically all like frag racks, in it. No, it's not escape. Like last time I did escape, I put rock in it and I did it as escape, and then I thought, you know what, I'll turn it into a bit of a frag tank. So it became a frag stroke. It became a frag stroke display tank as well, second display tank, which really went against the grain of what I wanted to do. It was mainly a frag tank. That's what it was. You know what I mean? And when I started putting it in as like a show tank as well, a second show tank, it just became a point where I was like, you know what? I'm overrun it. This has overgrown this tank now, so I'm doomed. There's nothing I can do. So I think if I do, I'm gonna get a frag tank and just use it as a complete frag tank and nothing else. And that is it. Just leave it where look, I can frag some of the corals, like you said, give them a haircut, and then pass them on to people. Do you know what I mean? That's all I can do. So.
And I suppose what you can do, you can use your media and small pieces of rock in the new tank, so you haven't got to worry about cycling the tank. So you've got loads of bacteria in
absolutely
in that tank, so that will definitely
help you. Yeah, Absolutely.
Coral warfare.
I mean, I tell you one thing. I tell you one thing. We've said it is like, you know, like with those those with the tang and the foxface dying. Yeah, my nutrients has come down so much. Yeah, it's incredible. You truly don't believe two fish can cause a lot of nutrients in the tank. But believe me, I am not dosing any sort of like nitrophos. Stopped all that. Once I lowered it down to where I wanted to get it to, I turned off. So we're talking maybe what 3-4 weeks ago. I stopped dosing. Didn't not dose. It's still on the dose up, but I've not dosed them at all. Yeah, and I've tested my tank. Nitrates have come down from, well, they got to 44 ppm in nitrates. Yeah, slowly I lowered them down to 20. I lowered them down to 18.2, 18.3 it was, and now I've not dosed anything. When it got down to there, I thought, you know what, corals look really good. I'll leave it at that. And then lo and behold, I tested not yesterday, the day before, and now they've gone down to 5.1 on the Hannah checker, and I've not even done anything. And that's just since the fish have gone. Since those fish have died, yeah, the nutrients have dropped. Phosphate 0.01. I'm like, holy,
You're getting
and
really
I'm
low,
feeding.
so you better
really low.
What filtration?
Really low, mate.
What filtration you running at the moment? I know you got the Clarity. What else you got?
Yeah, I've got the Clarity, but I'm just running that. I'm running that basically half open, so the nutrients can go through. You know, like you've got the gate valve. You've got that gate valve, haven't you? Yeah. And then my skimmer now, I have my skimmer. My skimmer doesn't come on. It's not on all the time now. Yeah. So my skimmer's only on like 3 days a week. You know what I mean? Like literally that cup, it takes about 4 or 5 weeks for it to be filled because I don't switch it on no more because it was taking out too much. I thought it might have been because it is a. I mean, those Red Sea, is it the 400? I think it's the 400. Is it the 400? I can't remember now. It's a fairly decent. It's a good skimmer. And it takes out some gunk, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people used to say run a skimmer at twice the size of your tank.
No.
But we used to do that. I used to say if you've got this tank here, 450 litres, I've got 1,000 litre skimmers and minus 160. And that when I first started, well, I say 7 years, people used to say at the time, double it. Now I had no POC, so it made sense to double it. But there's no way I'd get a skimmer now that's double the size of the tank.
Well,
you can over.
They used to say that.
Yeah, they did.
They used to say that. They used to say it all the time. Always go for what you can afford. But if you cannot afford the bigger one, go for the bigger one. I had it, mate, when I first started out in it. Yeah, you best off. But like you said, it won't be as efficient. You think it will, but you're basically taking too much of the tank out. You know, a bit too much of the stuff out of the tank, and you don't want that. You still want something in it. So now, like I said, I know that that's not too big for my tank. It's not too big for the tank, but I think because I've only got like nine fish in my tank now, 9 smallish fish. They're not big fish. They're not like sail fin tangs and all that. They're not big fish. They're just smallish fish. You know what I mean? And obviously they produce waste and stuff, but they're not producing enough waste. So that's why I think now, because those 2 tangs have died, the tangs died, the other tang got removed, then the foxface died. So I think that big bio load which they produce, which we all know what tangs do, you know what I mean? Yeah. Is just completely gone. That's what's brought my nutrients down 100%. Because since I've seen that, I've just seen nutrients, no carbon dosing. They've just been depleting all the time. But I don't want to get to the point where I completely run out. You know what I mean? Because then we're in a problem where we're going to get cyano, possible dinos, things like that. So this is why, like, I'm feeding not only that new food that I've made up myself. You know what I mean? But I'm also starting to dose the reef roids in the tank as well again. I bought a pack of that because I do know that raises it up slightly.
It raises mine when I use reef roids. So I don't use it very often. But the corals seem to love reef roids. I turn off I turn off the return pump. I turn off the power heads, and then obviously put it in a cup of water and just spread it around. And the corals just seem to love it. And then I turn one of the power heads on just to mix it around a little bit. But they definitely seem to, the LPS seem to bulk up a little bit and puff out. That's for sure. When you do that,
exactly. They do. I mean, I used to dose reef roids a long time ago, And I mean, don't get me wrong, I really did like it. And you could see the pot, you could see like the feeding tentacles coming out of everything when, well, like you said, when you switch everything off, they just sucked it all in. But then, like you said, I was having a bit of problems with high phosphates. I was getting really high phosphates. So, and then somebody mentioned, oh yeah, Reef contains high phosphates. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I just went on the guy's word on what he said. So I just said, right, well, I'll ease off it. And then when I did start easing off it, but then again, though, it might have been my own fault because I was doing it like 3 times a week, so that might have been a bit of a problem. You know what I mean?
It might
so
have been a little bit overkill.
That might have had some, might have been a bit overkill. So it might have been my fault as well. But I was new into it, really, or newish into dosing that stuff. No, so I was just like, oh, it's great food for the corals, food for this, not realizing like the repercussions that it could cause, in your tank. So, and then I started getting a bit of hair algae on the back wall, and it was definitely down to the reefroids. But now, because I've got lower nutrients, I just want to raise them up a little bit or see if this helps. And we'll see. We'll get there. But I don't want to start dosing. I know that you can buy like nitrate stuff and phosphate that you can add to it. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you should be able to.
I don't want to do that, but
get some more fish.
I'll be okay.
Obviously, you don't want to do that yet.
Yeah, not yet. No.
But I know what you mean, because when I took out the 2 tanks and he had a Regal tank and a Vampire tank, I cut my no-pox dosing in half. So I was doing 13 milliliters, which is not that much. And I cut it down to 6 when I got rid of both of those fish. But then if you look at the size of a big fish and you think, well, how many small fish makes up that size? And also tanks are messy anyway, just by the nature of there being big fish. It just shows you what they put into the tank, which actually helps the corals as well, though, doesn't it? Because it puts more food in for the corals. So the thing I suppose you've got to watch is your nitrates are coming down, your phosphates coming down. You got to watch you don't starve the corals out as well.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, it is one of those things. And let's see, and we have our friend Jay's in the house.
Good evening, gents. How are you? All right?
Yeah.
Evening, Jay. How's it going, mate?
I'm sorry I've missed it. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. It's not good.
No problem, mate.
Be in detention, should I? Really, if I was at school, I'd be in detention for that. Being that late.
Yeah, you'll be on the boat, mate. You'll be on the boat. We'll put you on report now.
I bet you were on report at school, Steve. I know that for sure. You were in there
permanently.
I had to go to the rescue of my wife. That's all. So I had to go and pick her up. So sorry, I'm a bit late.
No problem. As long as everything's okay, Jay, that's the main thing.
Yeah, everything's good. Everyone's safe and healthy.
Good man. Yeah, no, Jay, we're just talking about like nutrients, like lack of nutrients in my tank at this moment in time. So we would say like I'm actually dosing some reefroids and stuff like that now and try to raise it up because I don't want to bottom out. Fingers crossed they'll raise up. But
strange. And then it's strange you talk about things. There seems to be like patterns in people's tanks. So I think we mentioned cyano maybe last week or the week before, and obviously I remember last June as well, a similar time when we had cyano. And the link is really, I've also, Steve, had a few nutrient problems in the last week as well, and I never have to dose nutrients, as it were. No. But I have in the last week or so, because mine have been like dropping. So it's strange. You kind of go through the same things at a similar time.
Might be stage, the summer months might be causing it, mate. You never know. Well, it is strange, like you said. Yeah, I mean, I was saying to Paul and the people, I would say like I think mine's just because my tangs died, So like my tang died, and then my fox, two of the biggest like poopers that you can get. You know what I mean? So I think the lack of nutrients has gone from that sense. So, but. We'll get there. We'll get there in the end.
And yours must be swinging all over, Paul, mustn't they? With the tank breakdown, your nutrients must be like.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see. I mean, a lot of that is cyano. I mean, because the tank is all over the place. And I think I said this before that nitrates and phosphates are pretty rock solid. As I started taking out the corals, everything went through the roof. And I had to take the dosing through the floor, and I just haven't been able to control it. But the actual corals look pretty good still on that side, but I haven't tested the nutrients for a while because maybe I should have tried to control them, but it's so difficult when you're pulling out corals week after week and trying to keep it where it needs to be. So they were quite high, and despite the cyano, as long as you don't let it grow over your zoas and stuff like that, the corals kind of ignore it unless they're being agitated by them. So it's a distraction for us because cyano looks horrible, doesn't it? But for corals, as long as there's not a web or a carpet of it over everything else, I find it just looks unsightly.
It just looks unsightly, doesn't it? It's just an unsightly beast. That's what it is, isn't it? You know, it's just an unsightly. And when you clean it up, or you vac it up, or you do whatever you need to do with it, you think, wow, look how white my sand is, and then the next morning you come down and it's covered again. It's just back. Yeah. It's just like a never-ending cycle, you know, with it. And that's why people resort to, like you said, using either that Cyano RX and stuff like that, which is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've used ChemiClean before.
Or ChemiClean.
They work really well. You just got to watch because by using ChemiClean, it takes out some of the oxygen. So you follow the instructions to the letter, and then you increase your flow, and then you do some big water changes as well. And I leave the skimmer off because that goes mad for a little while. Because if you leave your skimmer off, then obviously you take some oxygen out there. So you just got to be really careful that you don't take out, suck out too much oxygen from the tank. But if you're careful, and I just had loads of fresh salt water on hand, you just do big water changes. Because what I did was I put ChemiClean in there, and then what I did, I turned the return pump off, emptied the sump up, put fresh water in there, and then cycled it again, and then turned it off, and just kept on doing that, and that worked really well. Yeah.
So John's put this. We've asked this question. We've spoke about this in the past, haven't we? About house contents. We have about insurance and stuff. Whether it would be covered under house insurance. We've spoke about this a lot now.
I'm not sure. I should look at my policy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether you was on the live stream when we spoke about. I remember speaking about it. We spoke about this. But I know in my house it's not insured. I know mine's not.
If it leaks, isn't it like it's escape of water? So I think like the contents that it damages are insured, as it were, but the contents of your tank, your livestock, and the actual tank, I don't think are, as it were.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. We looked at it, didn't we? Because there's no actual insurance company that can insure your tank, and like you can get jewelry insured and a phone insured.
Yeah.
You can't get a reef tank insured because obviously there's far too many losses in
probably.
In some tanks, so you'd be claiming every other week, wouldn't you? Oh, my torches died and my bloody blasto's shrunk up, and they won't make any money out of it, which is what they've got to do in insurance, isn't it? But as far as I know, I think you can't. If your tank's lost, that's it. But obviously, if it damages other things, I believe you can get paid out for those. So if you
I mean, because I would have thought that would only cover like things like, say, if your water pipes burst or you overflow your bath or something, you left your bath running in your bath, so that's what I thought that meant, like in your insurance. Not like because in theory, a tank is you've bought that as like an extra. It's not like anything to do with a house, is it? In that sense, like in a sense of like you've bought it so it's cracked. You could have been having a fight with your missus, and your missus threw a pan at you and it hit a glass and it shattered. Could you? Hold on. The tank's just cracked, and I've got £10,000 worth of damage because I need all my new joists doing and all that. So I don't know. It's a tricky one, but the missus threw my favourite Jamie Oliver frying pan at the tank and it hits it. You know what I mean? It could be anything, could it? I don't know. Could be anything. So it's like. I don't know about that. I've never looked into it on mine, so I don't know. But I'm only hoping and praying that my tank doesn't crack. You know what I mean? But I suppose you have got to check into it for sure, because I mean, imagine the amount of money they would cost you in floorboards alone. You know what I mean? Like, oh, mate. It wouldn't bear thinking about, mate.
Nick's got some comments in about some insurance companies do and they don't. So, Nick, do you know any insurance companies that do? Because if you do, it saves me looking. I'll have a look to see what the terms are, to be fair. Because I must admit, I probably would go with an insurance company. I'd pay an extra premium. I get the fact that they probably wouldn't insure the contents of the tank. Maybe they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, algae warrior there over in the States. And it's insurance company would lose, think companies would win. Absolutely, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I couldn't see how they could make money doing that. To be fair, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
You build up your no claims, wouldn't you? Like, oh,
yeah,
I ain't lost a coral for 2 years. Your premiums go down or whatever. They're like a Hall of Fame. Oh my God, they just lose way too much money if they started insuring tanks. They won't be viable. Hey up, Nick. You all right, mate? Good to see you, buddy.
I'm just going back on a few things. I'm quite behind here because
Carl's in the cab in the centre of London. So I imagine he's got some fares and he's watching the live stream and he's got punters in the back listening about Reef or listening to Steve going about a frying pan hitting the tank.
Unbelievable. If you want to see some Reef in gold, you've got to watch Reef King in someone else's house decorated. There's a video on Instagram. You need to find it. It's reefing gold. He's decorated someone's house while talking about reefing, and some random Stuart walks through the middle of it. It's absolute comedy. Yeah, good to see you.
It was a belter. Tony's put this. Yeah, it was a belter. It was a crack on it. Yeah, and then it was Carl's face, wasn't it, when he walked past? It was like, that's what made me laugh. I was like, what in the hell? Like. Yeah, it was so funny.
Someone's died here, but it wasn't me.
The thing is, I can't remember what Carl was talking about. So he's trying about being serious about reefing, and all I can remember is the guy going around and talking to him. Yeah. But there we go.
Decorating a dead person.
What was it?
That's what it was. Yeah, it was decorating a dead person or deceased, should I say, person's house. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. Check it out. Check it out.
I'm just looking back. I'm just going back on a few things. Yeah, happy wife, happy life. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mickey boy, true. Mick.
Hi, Mick.
Jay. Thumbs up.
Well, I've got to say, feeling happy tank, happy life.
Yeah, that is also true. Yeah, that is also true.
Jay's been Turkey. He's had a hair transplant. He's just got back.
To be fair, I did go to 2 weeks ago, but the kids were saying, "I'm getting my teeth done." The cheeky sods at work. You get your teeth done, sir. I was like, what are you doing? No hair transplant this time.
UK Reef, even in UK Reef, bro.
You're this summer, aren't you, to Turkey? So, you might come back with a full head.
Hey, yeah. Imagine that, full head of hair, mate. Hey.
Yeah, you go
do you then, mate. I'll outdo you then, Jay. How about that?
Yeah, do all of us if you come round with a full barnet, I tell you.
Full barnet there, mate. You know what? I couldn't even
asking for the recommendation. I've used Reefroids on my hair. I've rubbed the Reefroids in, and you've got it. That's it.
I'll tell you what. You know what? Honest to God, if somebody invented a miracle cure to grow hair back, they would be the richest person in the world. You know that by far, Bill Gates won't even touch it, mate. They'd be rich if they invented it, to grow your hair back.
I think.
But then again, I said we spoke to I've spoken. I said, you know what? Like if somebody said to me, you can have your whole head of hair back, I wouldn't want it back because I prefer it like I've just shaved off now. I'm just so used to it. You know what I mean?
Invented it. It's called toilet paper. You rub it on your backside. Look how hairy that is. Start using some Andrex on there, and it'll work a treat. Honestly.
There's no way to go after that one, is there?
There's nowhere.
Yeah. There's nothing I can say to that. Nothing I can say to that.
Don't start us on that.
Yes. Bucks Reefer.
Yeah.
I've got 0 nitrates and 0.02 phosphates at the moment. I think the Reef Mat roller. Well, you know what? That could be exactly. I mean, that's why I've opened my gate valve on my Clarity. That's a good thing with that because not only does it like save your roll, it saves your roll as well, yeah, but it also lets nutrients pass through the system. So, you know, if you are running low on it, yeah, I don't know whether you could do that. I don't know whether there's a valve on the Reef Mat roll. I'm not 100% sure.
Got a gate? I don't know if it has got a gate
I
valve.
don't think it has. I don't think it has. No.
The Bucks Reef.
But I could be wrong.
Has he got one? Has he got a gate valve? Because you could just open it up and your nutrients will go back up.
Nutrients will go. Yeah, it'll just flow through, and that's the good thing, you know, with it. So, I mean, I don't know. Let us know below whether it has got one, because I haven't really looked into it. I've seen a few YouTube, and a lot of people say they're fantastic. You know, they're really, really good.
Yeah,
but
I haven't seen.
Like you said, they could be too good, couldn't they? They could be too good in the sense of like stripping completely everything out of your tank. So yeah. Let us know in the comments below there, Bucks Reef.
Yeah, is he dosing anything as well? Is he dosing anything every day just to try and get it up? I don't know.
Yeah, let us know below. Let us know.
Yeah. I know a couple of people have got bigger tanks, and they've got the roller mat sits in the sump, but not through the downpipe. So they then have a pump that then takes the water through into it. So they're not filtering all of the water. So it helps bring the nutrients down, but they're not over cleaning it, which I think Bucks Reef you might be doing by the looks of it, by the sounds of it, from what you said. And I think he's it hasn't got a gate valve, so therefore, I mean, what would you do then if you haven't got a gate valve? You've got to put nitrates and phosphates into it.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
It's bringing it all out. Oh, Jay's getting his box of tricks out.
Yeah, so I was saying I've had to do this week. I don't normally have to do my nutrients and my nitrates, but I'm having to been putting in like half a cap full of Reef Elements Nitro Plus, that one. I think a lot of people use this sort of stuff, don't they? But
I use the coral food. I like the coral food on that one every so often.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about insurance, I've got these just in the cupboard, just in case, like for this moment when it dips down, so it starts to dose like my nitrates.
Does it actually go up straight away? Do you see it like an instant thing, or does it? That's what I'm saying.
It just buffers it away from zero. That's about it.
Right.
So I had that one, and then obviously, well, I've got this one as well. This is my phosphate one.
Yeah.
So that's my
coral. Essentials.
Yeah, and that again, that's just dripping some of that into the return chamber, and it kind of works. But I've got a story to tell you about this as well, and I'm an absolute idiot for doing it. Right.
What are you doing there?
So this is a disaster.
Do we need to call a Cobra meeting?
Nearly, mate. Nearly. When was this? Right. So they say don't do anything in reefing late at night, don't they?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mess with your tank at like 10, half 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought, my TV's finished at 10. I went upstairs and measured my nutrients again because they've been a bit low. And I've got a fear of dinos. I don't want dinos everywhere. So I was like measuring it. I was like, oh no, my nutrients are a bit low. I'm going to put my phosphate's a bit low. I'm going to put a bit of phosphate in. So I reached in the cupboard at half 10 and I was like, oh, here we go. Shook it up. Right.
You dipped all your corals.
Right. So I was like, over the back chamber, the return chamber, got the little thing. Look, mate, look, they're exactly the same. Look, even the same. I mean, look, they're even the same nipple. Look.
Put the right one back in the right place, though, Jay.
Apart from one's longer than the other, right? But I was like, so I get the Coral RX in the back there.
Oh, no.
Mate, I squeezed a bit in and I was like, that smells like cleaner. And I was like, looked at the bottom. You know, when you've done something, it's already in. I was like,
and you know it, yeah.
Shh. I was like, oh no, what have I just done? It must. I don't know how much I put in. It must have been, I don't know,
a small amount though.
Six drops, something like that.
That's not a lot, then, is it? It's
not a lot, no. Right? A minute later, my skimmer was like a car wash. Like, it's foamed up everywhere. And I'm like, what am I doing here? So I'm like, if I start skimming loads of water out, it's going to top it with RO. My salinity is going to drop. So I was just in a panic and flapping about. Anyway, after about 4 cups of skim, and then I had to put some new carbon in because of obviously to try and get that out, the contaminant of the RX. The fish were like doing a bit of a dance because they weren't happy with it. And I was like, oh, I probably killed my bacteria, and I hope my snails are all right. So this was about 10:30 at night, and I'm like, my head was falling off. I was like, what have I done here? I thought anyway, long story short, I did an emergency water change of about 20%. Took 4 lots of skimmer water out because it was just bubbling everywhere, because that's what it does with this stuff. And then I put the carbon in, and woke up the following morning after all that, and luckily, it's all right. But oh my God, just
you know,
when you're not concentrating on this game,
you make silly mistakes, don't you?
Oh, silly mistakes, and I was just panicking about what to do. And obviously the bottles they're different sizes, like, but the blue and the similar. And I was just like,
absolute concentration, mate. Yeah,
lack of concentration.
Easily done.
And I said to my wife then, I was like, don't let me touch my tank, after 8 o'clock at night. Do not let me go near it, because I've got this thing, I just, mess. We all do that. We like to tinker, mess with a coral, measure something. And then I was up till about 12 messing about with it. But luckily, I've dipped all my corals in the tank.
Well, at least
free.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So all my ups and downs. That's one of my biggest downs. I thought, God, I'm going to lose stuff here.
But you're okay. But you're right. Late at night, doing different things is not the recipe for disaster, I would say. So there's a really good question there, isn't there, from Danny's Coral Reef?
Yeah, Danny's Coral Reef. Yeah. What is a good first saltwater tank? And we spoke about these before. One. Well, there's a couple I can say straight off the bat. Is like what Jay's got, what Ross has got, and the fluval like Evo for 52. So I think those 3 tanks you cannot seriously go wrong with. You get everything in it what you need in the system, in the setup, and they're not expensive, overly expensive. I mean, Jay's tank is now, you know what I mean. But like the water boxes and the fluvals, they've seem to have stayed similar sort of price, not as much, not really gone sky high, but for if you're just getting into your first saltwater tank, just to try out, because you don't want to be spending thousands of pounds if you're not 100% sure, and you don't know whether you're going to like it. We spoke about it before, haven't we, guys? Whether you're going to take to it. A lot of people in this hobby, like you said, go out of it within the first 6 to 12 months.
You see so many setups,
you know what I mean?
Full setups where people have started up a tank, and I'm not too sure if they're new or they're not, but set up, only been going for 4 months, 6 months, closing it down. Even some that are not even out of the box. I think for me, it depends on what your budget is, and then how much space you've got, and then how much you really want to spend, because you've got the Fluval Evo, which is at one end, and then you go up through the water box. You've got the TMC all in one as well. So you got those where you get it. Then you get to the you get the Red Sea 170, which is probably a decent size. I've got that tank, sumped tank. And that looks good value. The only problem is it doesn't come with any kit. So you get the tank, and you get the cabinet, and you get the
no light or anything,
and that's it. Whereas the tank, what Jay's got there, that's a different light, isn't it, Jay? It all comes ready to go. And you've got a Peninsula one that's just out. But the Peninsula one is $1,000.
That looks really
you get
good.
Your skimmer, you get your light, you get you don't get a heater, do you? And you don't get a power head. But if you're starting at a tank, you could argue you don't need a power head for a little while. So you just basically need a heater, and obviously you need your water and you lock it. In terms of your equipment, it also comes with an auto top up. All that's a bit small, isn't it? Is it 3
liters, it's a 3-day one. But like you say, if you just get it out for the first 6 months, you don't really you like you say, your heater, your sand, your rock, your water. That's it.
Yeah. So when I started off, that was my second tank. So that's 450 litres. My first tank was an all-in-one 130 litres that I got from Charterhouse before the Red Sea Reef has come out. And I deliberately went fairly small. And I think I spent about 700 quid. And that was all in with all the rock. And that was live rock when it was actually out. No fish, but it was the rock and the sand and salt and blah, 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 all that kind of thing. So I went small. And then I upgraded after 12 months. So it really depends on room, budget, and actually, do you want to go big or try something small and see how you get on? I suppose would be my take.
Yeah, I think obviously Ross is on, but Ross would vote for the Waterbox Peninsula 15. Yeah, I think they've got like a 2-year lifespan. These little nanos, they're really good, but after about 2 years, it's getting a bit busy. But you can save money by not buying the cabinet so I didn't buy the actual unit, the cabinet. You save about 200 quid. So if you've got a nice bit of solid furniture instead, you can save 200 quid by just setting it on something like that. Money saving tip.
No. Yeah, totally agree, mate. Yeah. Like you said, all valid points there, but I totally agree with what you said, Paul. There, it's like it goes from a lot of stages. Like you said, your budget, your space, what you want to do, and I totally forgot about the TFCs. Actually, they're obviously just new to the market, but they look fantastic. They're the in-betweeners now, aren't they? The TMCs, they're the in between the Evo and the Red Sea, and that. I mean, I don't know why most companies don't do that, because that's a market there where you've got one where it's a massive market, that in between for beginner hobbyists. You know what I mean, to get into. That's the perfect sweet spot. 300, 349, £400, that bracket there is the perfect spot where people might. I mean, it seems a lot of money, but if for the kit what you're getting, and to start off with, you risk losing that and say, you know what, it wasn't for me, blah blah, and let that go by. Do you know what I mean? I would anyway. You know what I mean? I'd say, right, well, it wasn't meant to be, but I've only spent £400 or £450 on it. You know what I mean, on the setup, as opposed to £4,500, which I know some of my mates have done in the past and sold the whole system for £1,000. Do you know what I mean? Within like 4 or 5 months. So it's just stupid. You know what I mean?
The other thing, Danny, is you can get some really good second-hand deals, as you're saying at the moment. So that tank there was only 3 months old when I bought it. So that was the light. I got the lights. I got all Apex in there. It was the Rock. I got the Neptune. All that kind of stuff that all came with it. So I think it depends. So you have to be careful. But if you've got someone who's breaking down a tank after 3 or 4 months, then you have a look at it. As long as the seals around the side, they haven't been going up with the glass cleaner and stuff like that, you get some really good bargains. But it's second hand, so you take a risk with that. But 2 of my 3 tanks I've got running at the moment are second hand, and I've had them for years as well. Yeah.
And whatever your budget is, just double it, because that's what you really.
Yeah. What do you say? You spend £1,000 on the tank.
Yeah.
Therefore, you spend 2 to 3 grand maybe on the rest of your kit. And then your coals, you can add that on again as well over the time. Yeah. So you just end up doubling and doubling. You can get coals really cheap, unlike Jay, who goes to the top end ones.
The thing is with coals, I think, because that's like you buy maybe 1 a month. I mean, you buy a few at first, don't you? But then it's spaced out spending. Whereas at first, when you're buying all the kit, you have to have pretty much all of it to start with, don't you? Most of it. So it is an expensive stuff originally.
Yeah, but I think the Red Sea Nano ones that you've got and the Peninsula one are really popular, and I think they're really good. And also the water box. Ross loves his, doesn't he? I think yours is what, 75 litre yours is. Ross's is 50 litre, and then you got the Peninsula is 100 litres. You've got quite a decent range there in terms of.
It's just, I think this is the only one with a skimmer in those all-in-ones, as far as I know.
Yeah.
The rest of them don't come with a skimmer.
TMC have a skimmer in there. I don't know if the Evo does the Evo come with a skimmer?
Does it?
I don't know. I know there's people in the chat that got.
Oh no, the Evo, no. It comes with a return pump. It comes with a light. It doesn't come with a skimmer. No.
Right.
Yeah, the media basket. Yeah. Jake, Reef King's asked, when are you getting your shallow reef? Any updates on your shallow reef on your new build?
Maybe not, mate. I've had a few quotes and I'm looking around, but at the moment I just haven't got the money, so I don't want to push it too much. Don't want to be in any debt or anything, so I'm just waiting at the moment. But I'd love to say like next week, but budgets and money and stuff like that, it's difficult at the moment, isn't it? Finance is difficult, so I'm not getting myself into debt over it. I'm just going to keep saving and get what I want, which is the main thing.
Fair enough. Yeah. So will it be a shallow reef that you get? Because we talked about putting it in the alcove and that, and then we talked about getting it behind you. the guests. So
I don't know who came up with the idea on the live stream. I was like, yeah, that's a really good idea. So yeah, the plan is to make this like an L shape here and have a 4-foot shallow reef peninsula, and that's what I'm going to have. So I'm not going to compromise and kind of get a tank that I could buy now, but not 100% happy with.
Yeah,
I'm going to get the tank that I want when I can fully afford it. So when I've saved up about $3,500, $4,000, so that's the budget sort of area. Not cheap is this hobby, but I know I tell you what, Reef King, you've got 2 tanks. You're not using one of them, so just send it this way, mate. You've got a nice shallow reef, haven't you? He's got the ND Aquatics one, hasn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's got 2 on the go, hasn't he? Yeah. One peninsula
and
then the shallow reef as well. Oh. Yeah, look nice.
Yeah, looks really nice.
Matching.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling down and just having a look.
Convict tanks are nice. They don't get. I've had one before. They don't get very big, and I think they're underrated. Although I haven't really seen that many around.
No.
But maybe I just haven't seen. They're lovely. They're lovely tanks.
I was saying before, Jay. I was saying before you joined us, Jay. I went to Finest Aquatics the other day.
Yeah.
I had a look, and they had those gem tanks. Oh, mate. Oh, I was so close to getting one. Well, as I said in the stream before, I just didn't want to. I go away in about 6 weeks, and I didn't want to risk putting one in. You know what I mean? Just in case. I wanted to monitor it, so I like to monitor it in my fish, even weeks and weeks in advance, just to make sure. And I did want to get one, but they were stunning. Oh, they were stunning, mate. Get over there if you want one of those gem tanks. Get over there.
What in there?
Mate, I've been lynched.
No,
the tank.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about other people. The general, the wider community, mate. The wider community.
Oh,
but yeah,
how was Finest Aquatics? Because I'd love to go. It looks
brilliant,
like
mate.
It's up there. It looks like they've got a lot of stuff.
It's a big place. Loads of dry goods. Every sort of branding that you want and stuff. Yeah, really. Mickey Boy Mick. He was in here. Remember those pictures that I sent you? I sent you those pictures, didn't I? On our messenger. Those tanks. It's Mickey Boy Mick.
Remember.
I don't think he will. No, we did do a voice call, did we? I don't think we did a voice call, did we, on it? No.
He's not even listening.
Okay. No, he's lost, did he? Look at him. Yeah.
Hey, mate.
We're talking to you, not even paying attention.
What are you about? He talked to me then.
No.
If he had a big enough hand, I'd slap you.
Sorry, mate. I was just, our reefing map. Our reefing map. Yeah. I was seeing if Finest Aquatics was on there from last year, and it's not. Obviously, it's that new.
It's
on there now.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's
not new. Finest Aquatics is not new. I think it's been going for years.
Right.
I've only heard of it recently.
I have. I've heard of it in the last 6 months.
I don't think it's new. I don't think it's new.
No, it's not on here. It's not on the reefing map.
Is it not?
Is that a good segue into what you want to talk about, Jay?
Well, yeah. Should we just mention it again?
Yeah,
seamless.
Well, we've chatted into it, mate. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So in 2000, it was about this time last year. We got together, didn't we? We were like, where should we go over the summer? Let's create a map of all the best fish shops, coral shops, aquarium attractions, so that because when we're out and about in July, August, whatever, where to go. If you're on holiday, like down in where Paul lives, apart from AAC, where do you go? I don't know, but people down there will know because they've got that knowledge of where the best places are to go shopping. If you go into Cornwall or Devon in the caravan, maybe there's a good little reef shop whilst you're there. Bunk the missus and the kids off for a few hours, and you go and do a bit of reefing. So we set this map up last summer for 2021, but we're going to update it, aren't we? That's the plan. So we decided to update it. So this is what it looked like before, but this is the old one. So there's not much point looking at this really, because we're going to. Oops. Wait up! I just unplugged it there. It's coming back on, I think.
So where can people update this, Jay? What do people need to do?
So there we go. Look how amateur this channel is. I'm showing you a screen of a screen. So to update it, you go onto the description of this video, and Steve has put a little link in the description. and it's a Google form. Fill out the Google form, nominate your favourite places to go to buy corals, fish, livestock, dry goods, or days out. So last year we got 41 nominations, which these will all go back in the pot. So if they don't get nominated enough, can you see there, guys and girls?
You can't see the names, but you can see 40.
Yeah, you can see.
I'll make it bigger for you, Paul. Thank you. Right, I'll have to scroll down though.
Okay.
There you go. So can you see these? Yeah.
Yes.
Just about.
Just about.
Yeah. I'll make it bigger if you want.
No, it's
there.
It's
that's
fine.
the biggest.
There we go. It's like being at the opticians.
It's like for visually impaired now.
Yeah, thanks for that.
We came up with some colours. So the yellow is a local fish store.
Yeah.
Blue was a coral supply and purple was an attraction. So people voted for their favourite places, and the top places were then put onto the map there. So we've got quite a nice spread. It's hardly any down in the southeast.
Yeah, they're all in northwest, aren't they?
Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah. I do love them. Yeah. As you all know, I do love a map as a geographer. But anyway, these are the places here. Look. So some of these might not be on the next update.
We're interested to see how many have closed.
Well, don't say that. That's a bit.
Yes.
And how many then your others that have reopened?
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's not an obituary.
It's not an obituary.
Of reefing. Jesus. Oh, there's AAC.
Obituary of reefing.
There you go. There's AAC.
Yeah.
There's Ross's old one. Maybe he'll vote for that again. I think there's a lot of Scottish viewers. They voted for that, I think, last time.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's them there. So you can vote.
Your mate's not on there, is it? Signature.
He is. I think he is. Or maybe I put him up there. He had his own one up there.
He's got his own.
What are you? There you go. Well, I put him up there. I think it's because I forgot him on the forgot him, but I didn't know him. You know, when we made this, I didn't know Signature Frags at that time, so I didn't vote for him. But anyway, the top places will be voted, and the ones that get the most votes get on here.
I tell you what, just showing you Seahorse Aquariums. When I was over in Dublin, I did exactly that. Jill went with her friends, and they went and done whatever they did. I jumped on a bus, went to Seal Aquarium, and it was really good. It's I went around their quarantine area for their fish and everything else. Had some really good displays. That was I don't know, that was a couple of years ago. I know it's pre-COVID, so it would have been 2019.
So if you're in Dublin, guys, head over there.
Really good. If you haven't been there, then go there. I thought it was really good.
It's the only one in Republic of Ireland that got a vote. Wow. Look at Scotland, as if Scotland's got that. Maybe it has. I don't know. I think that was. Look at the north. Look at the coral triangle in the northwest.
Yeah, look at
that. There's loads up there. Look, a bit sporadic where I am in the Midlands, and then I mean, if you're going down Cornwall, you've got one choice really down there, which is 39.
What one's down in Cornwall?
39. Oh, it's the National Marine Aquarium, so it's in Plymouth.
So there's even a shop down there.
Well,
oh my God,
that's what I mean.
It's gonna be a shop.
Hopefully, got a viewer on here who can put it on our.
Well, we have Cornish Reefer was in earlier. I don't know if Cornish Reefer is still there. Well, if you are Cornish Reefer, where do you go to get your corals and fish, or do you have them posted?
Yeah.
Where's the nearest to Skegness? They're in Tenny. My logo's the nearest to Skegness at the moment. The nearest to there is none. 23 in the Wash. Where's 23? There's a marine fish shop in Spalding. There is. There you go.
Spalding.
That's the nearest one to Skegness, I'm afraid. Unless you know of any others. Yeah. So to get involved, join the description. Go in the description. Click the link. Yeah. Vote. We're going to put it on Instagram as well, and I want this to be done in the next in 2 more. Going to have 2 weeks. Update it in 2 weeks' time, and then it's ready for the summer holidays when we're all out and about, and we can go visiting some of these places. How many ones in the northwest have you done, Steve? 21. Have you done Worldwide Ocean Frags?
Let me see. Which one?
Worldwide Ocean Frags.
No, I've not done that one.
No. Kraken Corals, you have, haven't you?
Yeah.
22. Buskoff Aquatics.
Buskoff Aquatics. No, I've not been to them.
No.
That's one I do want to go to. I've not been to them, no.
Out of the Blue Marines, is that an online? Is it?
Yeah, that's my local lot.
Is that your local? Abyss Aquatics. That's near you.
We won't mention them. Yeah.
All right, you got your spot for choice, so aren't you? Your spot for choice.
Yeah.
So there you
Well,
have
you know what though? Yeah, fantastic setup, that Jay. And like you said, be interesting to know. Like you said, it'll be interesting to know which ones are open, which one are function. You know, and it would be not in a nasty way, but just to see, you know, like which ones are still going under the climate that we've been having. You know what I mean? Because it is tough. It's tough for hobbyists. So I can only imagine what it's like for people who, like, you know, shop owners and stuff. I know, like my local, he's like, you know, he was saying like the electric bills has gone stupid, and I remember it goes on the cost of everything then, doesn't it? You know, the electric bill goes up.
Yeah.
You know, they've got to add it onto the fish, they've got to add it onto RO water, salt water, they've got to add it onto everything, haven't they? You know what I mean? So
it's nuts, and it's different. We've got a baker up the top of the road, and they posted to say they're going to put their prices up. Their electricity's gone from 9,000 to 26,000, and their flour has gone up by 30%. So you think about it. You know, before you open the doors, your electricity's gone up almost 3 times.
3 times. That's just insane.
Nuts. And they, you know, there's really nice bakers as well, but he's got to put his prices up. And you know, that's difficult, isn't it? It really is.
I don't know how you can survive.
They'll be all right because they're really busy and everything else. I think they will anyway, but I hope they do because I like it there. But it's just like
the cost of energy is crippling the economy, isn't it? I mean, the petrol price, diesel price, everything. It's just all goes on the top of our reefing stuff, obviously, as well. Like when you buy a tank, the cost of transport and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
It's hard times.
Nick,
hard times.
These tanks were the ones that were mentioned before, mate. Don't know. I think I mentioned it just before. Yeah. Is it what was the guy's name now? Oh, Mickey Boy Mick, innit? Mickey Boy Mick it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
MBM tanks. I seen a small shallow grey one just in Finest Aquatics tank. I seen it, mate, and I was absolutely took some pictures, sent them over to Jay. Jay obviously doesn't remember them. But I remember them. And
no, I do remember him, mate.
All in one tanks. They look fantastic, and I said to the missus, I won't mind one of those small ones. You know, the small grey ones, shallow one. It's like a frag tank for sure. But yeah, really head over to Finest Aquatics or what's he called again? Mickey Boy Mix Instagram. Go and check them out for sure because they were brilliant. They were brilliant tanks, really good quality tanks for sure, and all in ones. So it'll save you on cost as well. You know what I mean? You know, you don't need to go all in at the one, you know, at that same time sort of thing. So yeah, really, really good, really nice.
Absolutely. There's a few people putting names of different LFS in there. So if you want to go over to Instagram
straight
or
down the bottom.
It is for Jay, and then update. There's some new names on there, so it'd be really good if you could do that.
Yeah, the chat unfortunately deletes on here, so get them on the form if you can.
Yeah.
Coral Reef.
My Coral Reef Coningsby.
Yeah, put it on the form for John.
Aquatics.
Bursco Aquatics. Oh yeah, that's what I tried to pronounce it.
Fish No Chips. Delta Aquatics in Kafilla, is that Kafilla?
Kafilla, yeah.
Kafilla. Yeah. Right. Is my LFS 10 years? Yes.
Wow.
And
give it a vote.
NG Reef. Yeah, give it a vote. Get over there. Get onto the link. Click on the link on this.
Yeah.
Either on this one, and I have put it on the Instagram as well. So we will link it into every post. Oh, well, I will anyway. Hopefully, you guys will link it into every post that I do. Instagram, YouTube, whichever one I do. Yeah. I'll link the link below. So get over there. You might have just gone out one day and just see a new shop. Put it in the link. Click on it, and put it in if you think it's good enough. And like you said, then we'll be able to see.
Thank you.
Maybe we could go out and sometime and maybe go and visit a few of them.
Didn't we? And then we had another lockdown, I think, or something.
Yeah, it was the lockdown. Yeah, it was the lockdown. So
we said we should go on a little tour, but we are planning to go to AAC, aren't we? That's happening, isn't it? At the end of August.
Yeah, we are planning on that. Yeah. I'm trying to like I said, I get back off my holiday just before that. So if I could get the time off, then I'd definitely be there. But yeah, I said to the missus, we'll go down, for the night. So for a night or two, me and the missus, and spend a night or two maybe, and then come home. So yeah, we'll.
Cracken's on the 24th of July, and that's amazing, isn't it? But I'm at a wedding.
Yeah, brilliant.
Bloody good.
Oh, you're not going? Oh, mate. I'm at a wedding tomorrow.
I'm thinking I could be at Kraken now. You know what I mean? No, to be fair, the wedding will be quite nice, but
you got to say just gonna pop out.
Yeah, 51%. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Nuts, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Give us a break. Give us a break.
Nick MBM did the big external weight box as well. Thumbs up. Yeah. I'll build you anything. I'm sure you will be able to. NG Nottingham. Dan's Reef. I don't know. I missed something there, so I don't know whether. Oh, did Dan's Reef? He might have said, "Is that where you're from?" When is the AAC meetup? Sometime in August, the end of August, I believe. We're aiming for. Jay's definitely going to be going
weekend, Jay.
Yeah, I'm going down on Bank Holiday weekend. So
it's going down
Friday, Monday. That'll be ideal for me, but I could work around it. If Paul's around, hopefully Paul's around.
Dreams.
I will be around, so I can meet you there.
Very good.
Fish Low Chips is going to go now. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us, Fish Low Chips. Really appreciate it. We know you always join in when you can. Yeah, have a good weekend, mate.
Yeah, nice. Have a good weekend.
Let's see. Nick's put Andy at Radical is having a Reef Fest event in August. A lot of things seem to be happening in August, don't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mickey Boy Mick said, has anybody ever been to the ocean projects? No, I haven't been there. Don't know about you guys.
No, Reef talks about that. It's down in it's quite away from me. I think it's on the south coast.
It's Dorset, I
think it is, which is a bit of a trek.
Yeah, it is a trek.
But yeah, I know that Alex talks about that quite a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
I think the guy who runs it was on his live stream. I think it might be one of the first live streams he done. Yeah. And I've seen some pictures on Instagram or fish on Facebook. It looks really good. I don't know much about it, but guys seem to know stuff.
I've only heard positive things about it from Alex. It's it must be good.
So my son's wedding next Friday, but I'll definitely watch the catch up. I'm sure you will, John. Appreciate you, mate.
Is it in Skegness? Is it
he wants to know where to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a cracking day. That must be a proud moment when it's your son's wedding. That must be a pretty special day.
Stephen J, I'm 10 minutes away from AAC. I have a room you can stay at mine.
Hey,
really appreciate that, mate. Hey, you know what? I might take you up on that if the missus don't come. But yeah.
Do you know what? He'll pick you up in the cab from the station.
Yeah,
he'll do that as well. He'll give you the right royal treatment.
Oh, hold on a minute. The way these trains are running at this moment in time, mate, I wouldn't trust a train as far as I can throw it. No chance, mate. I hope you get no train. No train, mate.
The bus down, to put us up for the night. I appreciate that, mate.
I really appreciate that, mate. Yeah. Really appreciate it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna what do you call it? I'll be driving down. If I've got to come down for sure, I'll drive down. But yeah. What I'll do is I'll drive down early morning, try and miss and then just have a kip in the car or something or whatever. I'm not bothered, mate. You know what I mean? I'm not going through all that stupid rush hour nonsense. You know what I mean? On a Friday, no chance. You know what I mean? So that's it. Like I said, if I can get the time off, then I will do definitely 100%. But I think I get back on the 18th. I think 19th of August. So imagine asking for another 2 days off if I'm rotated into work. It's not going to go down well. But we'll see. We never know, mate. We never know. John Wright's put yes, Skegger. So, and Nick's put Sean Russell, that runs Ocean Projects, is known as the Soup King. Why is he known as the Soup King?
Because it makes It makes that cocktail of coral food, doesn't it?
Right.
With the there's like the Benepets food and a mix of different things.
Oh, is it? Right. I see.
Fish and I think it's mainly it's coral food, isn't it? It makes, and apparently it's like the best coral food that you can make.
Yes.
We could do with some. See how good it is. He doesn't sell it. He just makes it himself for his coral.
Steve, I come and get you from London. Pecky's going to come up and get me from London. Well, bloody hell, car. That's so expensive. That's so expensive bill, that, mate. No.
Well, he's got an electric cab. It's still going to be expensive, but I think you got electric cab, haven't you?
A London cab from there, mate. You're going to be like, that's going to be 500 quid.
Listen, I'll give you the gold torch.
Gold torch.
Oh, mate. Yeah, no.
Nice one.
Oh, God. You know what? I appreciate it, mate. Yeah, for sure.
Just meet us there.
Come on, train. Pick it up, mate.
Yeah, I'm driving down because I'm going down on holiday with my family, so I'm driving down.
Yes. Mickey Boy, I was there Wednesday. Oh, my God, is SPS on fire. Nice. So I think we've caught up. To we have caught up to all of them now.
That soup thing. So I looked at that soup, right?
Yeah.
And I looked at the ingredient, like the things that he took, because he did it on that live stream, and he talked about it when he talked about the SPS. And I looked at the ingredients, and it added up to about 70 or 80 quid for some of these things, and some of them they were only available from the US, like some of the products that he used. And that's why I never ended up doing it in the end. But obviously, he might be able to source some of it in the UK or get it a bit cheaper than I can. But yeah, it's it must be good because it's not cheap to make it yourself. Because he gave you the ingredients and he said this is how you make it. But I priced it up and it was about 70 quid.
I suppose if he's using it all the time, you might be able to build it in, buy it in on larger quantities, and therefore it'll be obviously a lot of money, but it's going to be cheaper per litre or whatever it is.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, that's some commitment, isn't it? To kind of get stuff over, probably had to do the research on it.
Oh yeah,
probably some testing and other stuff. Like I got the recipe from someone else, but I mean, fair play.
Yeah,
but he's 50 got a
grand they paid for electric cab. Wow.
Yeah, but I've got to say, if you look at the price of
those electric cabs,
but
those electric cars, if you think of, I've been to London a few times, and sometimes you're not even moving. Like you're gridlocked, so surely to God, like an electric car, how on earth is that like going to be sustainable? Like, because does the engine switch off or something? I don't know how they work. Because if you're stuck in, because it's still going to be ticking over supposedly, isn't it? So it's still going to be burning power.
It's like the Flintstones.
Just shuts off. Surely it just shuts off. Like even diesel or petrol cars, if they don't
they shut off, don't they?
Yeah.
I know. My car does that.
Look at him. He's like a Flintstone, and he's like Stone Age man. Wait, they just switch off. No, not gonna drain when they're just sat on the tarmac. They drain overnight. Yeah. They're sat in your drive.
Well, no, because it's not switched on.
Well, that's what I mean.
If it was switched on, it'd been robbed outside my house.
This is like Top Gear, isn't it? Top Gear Ranger.
What the hell? Hold on. No. I think you're misunderstanding me here. If your car is on, you switch the car on, whether it's electric, petrol, diesel, or gas, it doesn't really matter, It's still on, isn't it? It's still burning. It's still going to be burning fuel. A gas car, you can you know what I mean? Is it you can have the gas cylinder, or I don't think they do them no more, actually, do they? You know, where you have the gas, don't they?
I think everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Needs new speakers now because you've just ranted that down the microphone.
You know what I'm saying. It's still going to burn power. It's still going to burn power, isn't it? You know, but I mean, I was looking at getting an electric car, hybrid one an hybrid one, and then I was looking into it, and I'm like, the prices of
really tall.
Yeah, the prices of electric and all that nowadays. I'd rather stick to fuel.
Well, no, I'm going to get electric car. Definitely, I will go for it. Yeah, I think so.
I'm not even going to go into it. But LPG. They are. AP Reef's got it. Yeah, LPG. See, so it is gas. It is gas. That's what it is.
Never forget it from that because no one else had a clue what you're on about.
LPG. Is that a coral?
Yeah.
Is that torture or something?
Nah. Liquid petroleum, mate. So that's what it is. You know what I mean?
It just explodes.
Donny, that is LPG.
Yeah.
or a large bomb in your boot. That's what it is. Because that's what it's like a big tank. It's like a big tank in your back of your car. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, no, I don't.
We've got fishing at this time rather than petrol tanks.
Yeah.
Let's get
I mean, it is a reefing channel, isn't it? So we like to think it is, don't we? A reefing chat.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, listen. Yeah, allegedly. Listen. What do we always say? We talk about reefing and every other sort of nonsense. So we have a bit of everything in this.
Current affairs, yeah. Electric cars.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Oh my God. We're getting on to opening the loft hatch when it's warm.
Sweet. That was a crazy idea. But in the theatre, science worked. £8 full charge.
£8 for the full charge. Right. Well, I'll go and buy one then. I'll buy a black cab. Yeah.
You go in the bus lanes then, Steve.
What, £50?
That must annoy you, though, Steve, mustn't it? People driving in the bus lanes when you're in the bus.
No, I mean it's only between. I don't know what it's like down your end, but it's between certain times, isn't it? Now, you know. Yeah. So during rush hours and all that, they're not allowed to drive in it. So, I mean, it is. It's not as big.
The other week when I went to see Ed Sheeran, it's like Delhi. No one sticks to the rules there. Jesus, everybody just uses whatever lane they want. It's chaos. It's absolute chaos.
Especially those buses.
Like Delhi.
Downtown Delhi.
God, you are getting onto your geography now, aren't you? Hey, come on, Jay. Delhi, it's like Delhi.
When I was there, I messaged you and said, "There's no way I'd be a bus driver in Manchester."
You did, yeah.
I thought you say when I was there, I was in Delhi. Where did you go? When did you go to Delhi?
No, Manchester's like Delhi for driving. Jesus.
Oh, right.
Oh, God.
It's terrible.
What are you like?
First choice, last choice. That'd be my last choice. Driving around there.
It is.
Drive around there every day.
I know it is. You've got to have your wits about you, mate, for sure.
You do.
That's for sure. But
are you sacred over your bus lanes if anyone goes in it? Do you start to get a bit?
You know what we call it? We call it control of the lane. That's all we say. It's control of the lane. So basically get the bleep out of the way, yeah. Otherwise you're getting a 10-ton bus up you know what I'm saying. That's what it is. So that's being the polite way of it, you know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. You know what I mean? It's a job and it's okay. You make it as hard as you want, you know.
I bet after all these years of driving the bus, you've never met a reefer on it. But you've never met anybody go, "Oh, I've got a coral reef tank."
Oh look, there's Mogsy.
You know what? I haven't actually. Yeah, and that's true. But you know when I came into the work, yeah, a guy who when I first started this place, yeah, a guy was there and he was staring at me, and I'm like, where I'm like, I'm like looking at him. Do I know you? Do I know you from another job, or have we been into a fight or something, or what, or things like that going through my head. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And
when they see someone, they never fight with them.
Yeah, but you know what? No, yeah, I'm thinking, have I done something wrong to this guy or something? You know what I mean? And he stared at, but he didn't approach me. He never approached me or anything. He just didn't do nothing. He just ignored me. Yeah, he just stared and ignored me. So I'm like, I thought there's some strange customers around here, isn't there? You know what I mean? So I was like, right, okay. So off I went on my trottles and all that. And the following day, I goes in work and he's in there again. He's in the canteen. This time he's like staring, and I'm like, I went over to him and I thought, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, like, does he think maybe I'm like, gay or something? I don't know. Yeah. So I was like, right. I walked over and said, "Do I know you, mate?" And he went. He said, "No, but I know you." And I'm like, "You know me? Hold on a minute. I don't know you, but you know me." And he went, "Yeah." He went, Are you not Mugsy cat? Mugsy's aquarium. And I'm like, oh my God. I went right under. I went red, as you could say, mate. I was like, oh my God. And this guy is a bus driver from Oldham. And he recognised me, and he went, "I watch your channel and all that." I'm like, "Oh my god, I couldn't believe it! What is the odds of that?" You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
I go to work and a guy who's a bus driver knows me. I was like, "Wow!" So yeah, I've never seen somebody. Yeah, I've never seen somebody on the bus, but this bus driver actually knew me. Yeah, couldn't believe it. But it is weird. It is strange. But like you said, we're in this hobby to help people.
Yeah.
And like John said before, just help each other out in it. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. You know, so
it's a great community, isn't it? It's a great community.
I think we have. I think we've, you know, with us getting to know one another, and then people on here and other things like that.
I
loved it. Oh.
But not
Moggs is the nation's favourite reefing bus driver. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, yeah. God, yeah.
Oh, that guy in Oldham's not watching. Jesus.
No, he's our favourite now.
He's our favourite, yeah. Oh dear.
What's right? My nephew's moved. Buying a mansion. Wow.
Yeah.
More to life than money, mate. Absolutely, mate. You know what? You know what? It's true that because I was talking about that thing, and I was saying like I was working out all the hours God sends and stuff like that, you know, in the past and stuff, and I was saying like, you know, when we went through all that COVID and stuff, you miss out on your families and stuff, don't you? Know? I said you can make as much money as you want, yeah, but you can never make the time back, and it's true. You know what I mean? Yeah, so now it's like I always just rather have the time, much time as I can with my family, my mates, my friends, and you know, doing things like that, doing, you know, fun things because, like you said, I know you might need money to survive and all that, but listen, I'd rather die poor but die a wealthy man in the sense of like being seen with all my kids and my family and all that. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. So I'll die a poor. I'll die a poor bus man, a bus driver, poor bus driver, but happy at that. As long as my tank's still going, she'll sell my tank anyway, the missus, so she'll make a fortune out of it.
But would she? You wouldn't know how much it's worth in there, does she?
Yeah.
She'll be putting a torch up for the fiver.
Yeah, but Steve, if she asks how much it is and you say it's 20 quid, then she'll sell it for 20 quid. So that's the downside. If people do that, you spend 200 quid. Oh, it was 20 quid, and then that's it. You get
You know what? That's what I used to do to my missus all the time. That's what I used to do to the missus. Come in and go like, she go, "Oh, that's nice. That's a nice coral, that one." Oh yeah. How much was it? And I go, "Oh, it was only 35 quid." Oh, that's really good for 35 quid. And then every time my mate said, "Do you want the receipt?" And I go, "No, put it in the bin." It'd be like £150 or 85 quid or £90. They're like, so like you said, Paul, yeah, God forbid if anything does happen to me, she'll be selling them for what I told her I paid for them. Wow. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll have to put that in the will. Anyway,
what the real prices? This is the real.
Yeah, the real prices. Yeah.
I wasn't going to mention wills, obviously, but what do you must have to put it in your will, mustn't you? Like your reef tank, you got to say where you want it to go and who's looking after it. Something to think about, isn't it? It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
My missus will get rid of it. My missus will get rid of it, mate. Trust me. She won't be able to have it. It's impossible. No, she would never. She wouldn't know what to do with it. You know, it's simple.
Oh, yeah,
she likes looking at it.
Would they? That's the thing. Like, no one knows what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She likes looking at it and stuff, but like you said, I mean, you've got to, your heart's got to be into reefing, and it's got to be into reefing. You've got to be into it. You know what I mean? And you've got to like study it. You've got to like research it. And I have been spoken with Nick a couple of times, and like he obviously like is the man for in-depth knowledge and stuff like that.
Well, he knows his stuff,
the biodiversity of everything. You know what I mean? And it is interesting when you really delve into it. It is interesting. We only know the tip, not even the tip of it. You know what I mean? Until you dive into it, what corals need and stuff like that. It's like mind blowing. It's just like crazy world of creatures. You know, what we have in our tanks, and that's why like when one of them dies or something, I'm like devastated. Like, what the hell? Should have done something about that, or I could have done something. And that's exactly what it's about. But yeah, I'm just a simple reefer, honestly. Yeah. I'm sure you are, Nick. Yeah,
but over the years you gain knowledge. Sure. I mean, that's why, Paul's on here as well. He's very knowledgeable compared to, like, say, me and Ross. Very knowledgeable. I think it's like the longer you're in it, obviously you gain that wealth of knowledge and experience, don't you? Like when I go through something for the first time, there's people in this chat who have been through it 3 or 4 times, and they're like, "Oh, it's easy, don't worry about it." But when it's your first time, or that person who's in the chat today who's looking to set up their first tank, you know, everything's new, and it's like it's overwhelming.
It definitely can be overwhelming. I mean, some people
Yeah.
buy a
It's
tank and
overwhelming,
they say, "What do I do?" And you think, "Really? You've got to
Yeah.
have a tank, and you haven't done." I'm not saying you have to do tons and tons of research, but you should at least understand how it works, and how to look after the inhabitants that you're putting in that tank, and what to do and what not to do.
But yeah, there's no stupid questions, because if you're a newbie, you know, you're going to ask simple questions. Obviously, people in here who've done it 15 years, they ask stuff that I ain't got a clue about, to be honest.
But I think also it's where you go. I mean, I don't go on Facebook very often because it does my head in. But a number of times people ask a question and they get absolutely toasted for asking that question, and then they'll go, "Well, I won't come back anymore." And you think, really? Because there'll be someone who say, "No, you have to do it like this, and you have to do it like that," and you go, "No, you don't. That's one way of doing it." So I must admit, I tend to avoid Facebook because it just does my head in. I've seen them. People.
I've seen them on Reef forums, though, mate. You know, I've seen them on Reef forums, and then people having arguments, you know, saying, "Well, he's asking or she's asking a genuine question. There's no need to say this or there's no need to say that." You know, some people are genuinely like, you know, interested to learn and they want to learn. And what might seem like a trivial, you know, question or something that seems easy to like ourselves, they might not know anything about it. They might be total newbies, but we should just give them the respect, like you said, of just like answering the question and not like digging at them and saying, "Well, you should have known that before you bought a tank, blah, blah, blah." You know what I mean? Because I've seen it all the time. "Oh, right, well, I've bought this water, I've done this, I've heated it up to this, I've done this. Can I just get some fish?" And then people go, "Well, you need to do a nitrogen cycle. You know what a nitrogen cycle? You should have learned this beforehand and all that." And that's the biggest one you always see all the time. Yeah. Now, granted, they should have maybe known about it, but they don't want you to be like going on at them. You know what I mean? They just want just want the answer.
But
so you just answer them and say, "Look,
people give really bad advice as well," and you think that's just not the best thing to do. And you think, do you get involved in not and things like that? So it's a difficult one.
John writes, "I'm 70, so I'll tell my family to get your advice." No. Get Nick's advice. Nick will be good. Get his advice. Aquarian, the saviour of my clownfish, and Reef King, John Reef. It's great. We're all different. You'd not like it here, and I wouldn't live there ever. But we all love reefing. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. No matter where we live in the country, the top or the bottom, we're all in the same hobby, and that's what we're in it for. We all just love the reefing side of it for sure. To quote Ross, reefing is not a competition, and that is very, very true.
Unless it's the Pico tank, because he's really about that.
Yes, Pico tankness.
Another day. Look,
it's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, spot the difference.
Oh, it's gone.
I'll have to update on that because we're running out of time today. But yeah,
we do it next time.
I've shut it down quicker than Paul.
Well, mine hasn't started up, so mine was even a blink of the eyelid.
I'll show you how to do a tank shutdown, Paul. It doesn't take 2 minutes.
Yeah. I've worked out. I think I said I was going to start closing this tank down in September last year.
I think
it was about that time. It was about that time, and it's still going. But Jay, you missed it. This is going weekend. This is closing.
I think I was collecting my GCSEs when you said you were shutting that down.
You might well have been.
It's been that long. But there you go. There's another thing. Everything takes time in this hobby, doesn't it? That's it.
Well, it does if you're me.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah. Russell Brooks.
Experience.
Facebook groups are shocking.
Yeah. I've seen
such rubbish and bad advice.
It's horrible. Like lynch the person. You're like, God, they've only asked a question. Leave them alone. You know what I mean? Yeah, they are. They are, mate. Yeah. Come on, if they're on Facebook, come on here and just ask it on here. We'll give you our best.
Or even if we don't know the answer, there's always somebody in the chat that knows it or might know it, you know. And that's the one good thing, isn't it? I mean, there's been 55, 56 people, you know, we're here. If one of us might not know the answer, or a lot of us might not know, but that one person might know it. You know what I mean? So it's all about like we're all learning in this hobby all the time. I learn every day something new. I see something in my tank. Oh, what's this? You know, blah, and I'm learning it, googling it, this, that, whatever. And you're always learning something. You know what I mean? That's the good thing with it all. Aquarian's doing a Julie. Where is Julie? I've not know.
She hasn't.
Is she okay, Julie?
Yeah, I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago. She hasn't been well. I think she had COVID, and now I think she's got long COVID. So she's been quite poorly. But I speak to her every so often. She's not that far away from me, but we speak on Instagram just to see how she is and stuff like that. So I know she's come on a couple of times, and she's been falling asleep. Nothing to do with what we've been talking about. So she says, but we if you want to solve insomnia, come and watch our live streams.
There you go. She nods off to it now. That's even better.
Yeah, she probably nodded off in anticipation before 8 o'clock.
Was she watching Jay's first nitrate test by any chance? Was she watching a repeat?
She's got that on repeat. She's got it on.
She's got it on a loop system.
Yeah,
that's what she had it on, didn't she?
Now, anyway, it's only now 22 hours and 6 minutes. I've still got the. I haven't got the new one, but anyway, we won't go there. We won't go there.
Oh, brilliant!
Cheers, John. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah. So sadly, those 2 hours have absolutely flown by. So once again, guys, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. You know, and like you said, hopefully, I'm doing it next week again, aren't I?
Yeah. So I'm not around.
You're not here, are you?
No, the next two Fridays I'm not around. I'm in and out doing.
Yeah, you're not here, are you? So looks like it's me and you, Jay, next week.
Wow.
Yeah, so what we might do is maybe do an open mic again, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure some out. Maybe we could do something like that, I think. I'll have to figure out how to link them all in, how to link people all into it, because that's new to me. Paul's the master, but we'll do something. Yeah, we'll do something like that. So once again, guys, thanks for joining us, and all have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, and stay safe, and we'll see you either on next Friday's Friday night live stream. So take care, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
cheers, guys.
Have a good one.